Have you ever felt stuck? Not in a truly terrible situation, but in one that's just, okay. Well, today we're going to dive into a really fascinating psychological paradox that suggests that feeling of being just okay might actually be the most dangerous place you can be. But to get us started, I've got a little puzzle for you. How is it possible that a longer trip could end up being faster than a shorter one? I know, it sounds like it makes no sense, but stick with me here, because the answer reveals something pretty profound about what really motivates us. So, to figure this all out, let's get into the strange story of a commuter we'll call Bob. His everyday routine, believe it or not, holds the key. Okay, so here's Bob. And like a lot of us, he makes two regular trips, both starting from the exact same place, his own front door. So his office is just a mile away, super short and easy walk. His grocery store, on the other hand, is 2 miles away, so double the distance. Pretty simple, right? Obviously, the shorter trip to the office should be way faster. Except it's not. It turns out Bob consistently gets to the grocery store, the place that's twice as far away, faster than he gets to his office. So what is going on here? How on earth is that even possible? Well, the answer lies in something called the paradox of pain. Let's unpack the science here, because it perfectly explains Bob's bizarre commute. The formal name for this is the region beta paradox. And what it basically says is that we humans are often much, much faster to solve big, intensely painful problems than we are to fix the small, annoying ones. See, intense pain makes us react, while mild pain, well, we just kind of put up with it. You can think of it like this. A really severe problem gives you a jolt, a kind of activation energy. It's that powerful push, that mental and emotional spark that we need to stop just tolerating a bad situation and actually do something to change it. So let's go back to Bob. That 1 mile walk to the office, it's just a mild annoyance, so it creates really low activation energy. He just shrugs and walks, and yeah, it's slow. But the thought of walking 2 miles to the store? Now that's a severe problem. The pain of that idea is big enough that it creates a ton of activation energy, which motivates him to find a better way. So he hops on his bike, and of course, the bike ride is way, way faster. Puzzle solved. Okay, so now let's scale this idea up, because it leads directly to something we all face, the just okay trap. And this is where we see why a mediocre situation can be so much more dangerous than a truly miserable one. Does this sound at all familiar to you? Think about a job that you don't love, but you don't really hate it either. Or a relationship that's fine, I guess, but it isn't really fulfilling. These are the 1 mile walks of our lives. They're just not quite painful enough to force us to get on the bike and find a better route. This gets to the heart of it, right? It's the danger of being comfortably numb. When things are awful, you're forced to make a change. But when they're just meh, you can drift along for years, maybe without ever even realizing what you're missing out on. And that's the whole trap. These tolerable, just okay situations, they just don't produce that critical activation energy. They don't hurt enough to make us move, and so we just stay put, accepting a lot less than we could have. But what if you could kind of manufacture your own activation energy? Well, here's the good news. You can. Let's look at a really powerful tool that helps you do just that. We can actually break ourselves out of this just okay trap. There's a really simple but incredibly effective exercise for this from the author Tim Ferriss. He calls it fear setting. Okay, so here's how it works. It's got 3 main parts. First, you define the absolute worst-case scenario if you try to make a change and it all goes wrong. Second, you list out all the amazing potential benefits if you succeed. But it's the third step that is the real game changer here, calculating the true cost of doing nothing at all. Let's really focus on that last step, because this is where you figure out the actual long-term price you're paying to stay comfortably numb. To do this, you actually project yourself into the future. You have to ask yourself with brutal honesty, if I change nothing, what will my life really look like and feel like in 6 months? What are the emotional, the physical, and even the financial costs going to be in 1 year? And then in 3 years, what is the ultimate price I will have paid for staying exactly where I am today? See what this does? It takes that vague, slow, creeping pain of being stuck, and it makes it feel sharp, immediate, and very, very real. It basically transforms that tolerable 1 mile walk into an unbearable 2 mile walk. And in doing that, it generates all the activation energy you need to finally make a change. So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. When you stop and actually calculate it, what is the true cost of your comfort zone?